Since ancient times, old cultures have carried a hidden concept, a wisdom preserved as a deep secret. In every tradition, mysterious concepts emerge that seem to point to the evolution of the universe, of human beings, and their relationship with a consciousness that permeates everything. Among these concepts, we find the mystery of the three suns, a metaphor that flows through religions and philosophies like an ancient whisper, interpreted in different ways, but always pointing to something beyond the visible. But what if these suns were not merely symbols, but actual representations of stages through which we, as conscious beings, must pass? Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism show us these suns as essential aspects of the cosmic cycle, karma, and moral evolution. However, there is a deeper connection to reveal. These traditions point to a unique source of energy, a universal mind that not only observes us, but also interacts and coexists with us. Philosopher Walter Russell speaks of a universal mind as the essence of all creation, an infinite creative force that, in some way, is the origin and destiny of all forms of life. According to him, this force is accessible to all of us but remains hidden to many. So, does this mean that our mind could be an extension of this universal intelligence? And what connection do the three suns have with it? So today, we will explore what lies behind this ancient knowledge. Through this ancient wisdom, we will also discuss how it leads us to believe that the reality we perceive may only be a manifestation of a much greater consciousness. The concept of the three suns goes back to ancient spiritual and philosophical traditions that sought to uncover the mysteries of existence and the creation of the universe. Among these traditions, Zoroastrianism and Mithraism stand out, offering a symbolic view of the cosmos and its cycles. In Zoroastrianism, one of the oldest religions in the world, the universe is seen as a battleground between opposing forces, light and darkness, where cosmic harmony is achieved through transformation and balance. For Zoroaster's followers, the sun and its variations represent phases and qualities of divine energy, elements that sustain the cycle of life and renew cosmic order. In Mithraism, an ancient Persian religion dedicated to the god Mithra, the sun also holds a central role. It is believed that the spiritual path involves several stages of illumination, and that the sun, in its various manifestations, guides this journey of development. These religions suggest that the sun, or rather, the different solar aspects, represent layers of reality that each conscious being must cross in their evolution. This concept acts as a metaphor for these transitions, influencing Eastern thought with the idea that existence moves in cycles, guiding the individual from one phase of understanding and enlightenment to a deeper one. The concept of the three suns is also found in other Eastern traditions, integrated and reinterpreted in Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism. In each of these traditions, the three suns take on a unique role, but all point to a cosmic cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, reflecting a spiritual journey toward awakening. In Buddhism, for example, the symbolism of the three suns is clearly linked to levels of karma and the soul's progression through various reincarnations, reflecting a cycle of learning and purification. Each sun represents an era and is governed by a specific Buddha, casting light that guides humanity in each life cycle. This cycle is not merely personal but also cosmic. Each era brings a new opportunity for spiritual alignment, a new chance for progress toward nirvana. The symbolism of the green sun, the red sun, and the white sun becomes more than a metaphor. It is like an invitation for each human being to reflect on their journey and their ability to align with the Dharma. The first of these suns is the green sun, governed by Buddha Dipankara. Dipankara, also known as the Buddha of the past, illuminates the initial path, guiding souls in their first phase of spiritual evolution. In this stage, the soul is marked by ignorance and attachment, bound within the early cycles of birth and death. Dipankara represents the beginning of awakening, an era when the being starts to perceive the effects of karma and the challenges of existence, taking its first steps toward enlightenment. However, this is a phase where illusions still dominate and suffering is frequent, as accumulated negative karma still has a strong influence. Next, we have the Red Sun, led by Buddha Gautama, the historical Buddha of our era. Gautama is the guide of the present era, representing the process of purification and self-knowledge. The Red Sun is the era of here and now, where knowledge and practice are accessible, and consciousness awakens to impermanence and the interdependence of all things. It is a phase where the individual becomes aware of their own responsibility in creating their karma and seeks ways to cultivate a more virtuous life. Gautama sheds light on the understanding that suffering can be overcome and that enlightenment is possible, although it depends on an internal transformation, a hard work of purification and compassion. Finally, we have the White Sun, symbolized by Buddha Maitreya, the Buddha of the future. This third sun represents an era where all beings will achieve awakening, a phase of complete Dharma renewal and the end of suffering. Maitreya is seen as the one who will bring an era of peace and spiritual prosperity, an era where the karma cycle will be balanced and rebirth will become a conscious choice, an expression of universal compassion. The White Sun symbolizes the peak of spiritual evolution, the moment when the lessons of karma are fully understood and human beings become capable of transcending samsara. The concept of the three suns in Buddhism reminds us that the pursuit of enlightenment is a journey that each person travels at different levels, moving through the ages, learning and unlearning, until consciousness awakens to its true purpose. The passage from one era to another is not just a change of time, but a spiritual movement where each being is called to take responsibility for their own karma and the purification of their consciousness. In this way, spiritual progress is both an individual and a collective process, as each rebirth contributes to humanity's advancement toward harmony and wisdom. So, the symbolism of the three suns in Buddhism guides us toward a broader understanding of the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, connecting us with a deep vision of spiritual progress. In Confucianism, the concept of the three suns assumes a sense of ethical and social progress, a collective journey toward a harmonious and morally elevated society. Unlike the Buddhist perspective, which focuses on individual development and the personal cycle of rebirth and karma, Confucianism views the evolution of the three suns as a rise of all humanity, where the improvement of individual character also forms the foundation for social advancement. For Confucians, true peace and order do not arise only from a person's inner enlightenment, but from building a society where respect, virtue, and compassion are cultivated and practiced by all. Here, evolution is tied to the concept of Ren, the quality of being human in its highest expression, and Datong, the vision of a society in perfect harmony. Confucianism views the three suns as eras of ethical development, where society moves toward universal peace. Each stage of social evolution reflects a light, a sun, that enables humans to transcend disorder and approach peace, only possible through cooperation and collective moral improvement. Ethical development is based on a series of moral principles, with the concept of Ren at its core. Ren, often translated as humanity or benevolence, is seen as the essence of human beings in their purest form. It is what truly makes us human, the ability to feel and express compassion, understanding, and respect for others. So each individual's progress toward the ideal of Ren contributes to the advancement of society as a whole toward harmony. As humanity evolves collectively, Confucianism envisions a final goal, Datong, or great unity. This Confucian ideal is the fulfillment of an era where inequality, selfishness, and conflict are overcome, and where society as a whole lives in peace that reflects the alignment between individuals and the collective. Datong could be considered the white sun of Confucianism, the peak of social and ethical progress, where humanity is capable of achieving a state of universal harmony. In this view, the three suns represent the human potential to create a world of harmony, where peace results from a constant moral evolution. In Taoism, on the other hand, the three suns represent a path of union with the Tao, the essential flow of the universe. The concepts of Hun Yuan and Hun Dun, which mean primordial chaos and undifferentiated chaos, mark the starting point of this spiritual journey. Unlike the ethical progress of Confucianism or the stages of karma and rebirth in Buddhism, Taoist philosophy understands the three suns as a progression that doesn't manifest only through time or morality, but through integration with the cosmic rhythm, the return to the original state, unity with the Tao. For Taoism, the three suns reflect a transition from a state of chaos to harmony, where the self dissolves into the forces of the universe, achieving complete integration with the Tao. This cycle of returning to the primordial state is seen as the peak of spiritual development. It's a journey that does not require achievement or morality, but rather a deep recognition of the cosmic essence that unites all things. In this tradition, the light of the three suns is like a metaphor for the dissolution of the ego and union with nature in its totality. This spiritual progression is guided by the pursuit of complete alignment with the Tao, where the practitioner strives to achieve universal harmony, detaching from all desires and illusions that distance them from the natural and eternal essence of the universe. This idea of cosmic cycles and integration emphasizes that the universe is, in itself, a cyclical and rhythmic process of creation and dissolution, where each being is merely a temporary expression of a much greater dynamic. Here, the goal is not to achieve a higher state of morality, as in Confucianism, nor to purify karma to escape the cycle of rebirths, as in Buddhism. Instead, the practice is centered on transcending individuality, overcoming all distinctions and separations to achieve total union with the Tao. This is the peak of spiritual progress in Taoism, a state where humans no longer feel separate from nature but inseparable from it, allowing the Tao to flow through them. These distinct interpretations of the three suns, despite their differences, converge at an essential point. Each tradition sees the universe as a sequence of cycles where humans are called to evolve and harmonize with something greater. It's an expression of a universal cycle reflecting each conscious being's journey toward unity. At this point, an inevitable question arises. How does this quest for integration and enlightenment, symbolized by the three suns, connect to the concept of a universal mind that permeates and unites all creation? Walter Russell's philosophy presents us with an innovative and comprehensive view of the mind and the universe, where the concept of mind transcends what we usually consider an abstraction. For Russell, the mind is not a separate entity from physical reality. It is, in itself, a tangible substance, an omnipresent essence that permeates everything that exists. He proposes that the universe is not composed of isolated matter, but that each particle and each form of life is a direct extension of the universal mind. This universal mind is the source of all creation, the creative force that shapes and forms the cosmos, and profoundly and impactfully also resides within each of us. According to him, This universal mind manifests itself through rhythmic cycles of creation and destruction. These cycles, birth, growth, decay, and rebirth, are the foundation of existence and, in essence, reflect the very pulse of the universe. Nothing exists in a static form. Everything is dynamic, and creation is a continuous process that unfolds through the interaction between thought and substance. For him, thought is light, and this light manifests as matter, while matter eventually returns to the state of light. This continuous process, where each cycle is a movement back and forth between light and form, reflects the eternal dynamics we see in nature's cycles and cosmic transformations. As in Buddhism and Taoism, where transformation and return to the primordial are fundamental, Russell's vision highlights that the universe is in constant transformation as a reflection of a universal thought. Following this line of thought, we encounter the idea that every point in the universe is actually the center of the universe. This means that all of creation, every being and every particle, contains the entirety of the cosmos within it. In this case, each human's mind is an extension of the universal mind with the same latent creative power. We are, as Russell states, co-creators in the very fabric of reality. This concept of centrality and interconnectedness recalls the Taoist ideal that everything is intrinsically connected to the Tao, and the Buddhist principle of interdependence, where all things are linked within a web of existence. This vision allows us to understand that the reality we live in is shaped by thought, and that by expanding our consciousness, we have the power to harmonize our own existence with the universal rhythm. In this way, what he describes is not just a philosophical understanding, but a call to action. Recognizing this universal spark within us means taking responsibility for our own role in creation. This interconnectedness between mind and matter, between individual and universal thought, is like seeing the universe as a single entity, as if there were no distinction between the creator and the creation. Everything that exists is a manifestation of the universal mind. This perception brings us back to the cycle of unity, to the idea that the universe and every being are parts of one creative force. The understanding of the universal mind and its integration with individual consciousness reveals a path of deep transformation for each of us. When we recognize that our mind is an extension of the whole, our view of reality expands, and we begin to realize that our actions and thoughts are not isolated. They reflect in the cosmic field. This process of expanding individual consciousness is not just a personal benefit. It activates a change that extends to the collective consciousness. Each individual who awakens to this understanding adds a new frequency to humanity's field, helping to raise everyone's awareness. It is like a continuous renewal that reflects the unity taught in Eastern philosophies and leads us to a reality where cooperation and balance are natural. The state of enlightenment, so highly sought after in Eastern traditions, can be seen through Russell's lens as the full realization of the creative and infinite potential that each of us possesses. Both Eastern philosophies and Russell's thought suggest that by reaching enlightenment or full self-awareness, we become agents of constant and collective renewal, raising the vibration of existence and co-creating a cycle of harmony and evolution. And when we become aware of our role as agents of this universal field, we understand that the reality we build affects not only our journey, but also the collective destiny. It is an invitation to act with wisdom, compassion, and purpose, knowing that by elevating our own consciousness, we create a path for the spiritual and cosmic evolution of all humanity. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to like and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with others so they can benefit from this message. And don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, reflections, and experiences. Thanks again for watching and for joining me. Take care and see you soon.